What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Monae, aka the Chocolate Princess, and I'm back with another video. Y'all already read by the title, this is not no normal video. This is something that has been needed to be said for a long time. This video was supposed to be filmed 2 years ago, but I put it off. But some events transpired today, and so I decided that I was gonna finally tell my side of the story, because people always want to know why you don't mess with such and such, and why you don't never like talking about such and such, and why you don't never want him to be brought up in conversation. There's a reason behind it, okay? Regardless of what he may be in other people's ears saying, ain't nobody mad for no reason. I don't be mad for no reason. I really, honestly, I could care less. But since this certain person want to play with my name, I'ma just tell it all. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm telling it all. I'm not holding nothing back. I'm not finna sugarcoat nothing. I'm not finna lie for nobody. I'm gonna tell my side of the story, and after this video, like he said, we dead to him, or whatever the case may be, he dead to me. I don't want him to be mentioned no more. It is what it is. And it's gonna stay what it is. So let's just get into this video. Now, those of you who know me or know the situation, or follow me on social media, know that I grew up with a single mother of 3. I've never lived in a 2-parent household. Never. It's always, since I can remember. My mom had me at 18 years old, okay? It was never mom, dad. It was never that. It was never that. So let's make that clear. It was never mom, dad. It was always mom. That's it. Never knew anything else, okay? I knew I had a dad. I knew that. I knew he did exist. I'm not going to say I didn't know him. I didn't know him. I knew of him. Let's make that clear. I knew of him. Because my mama never kept me or my sister, who grew up in the same household as me. We share both parents. My mama never kept us away from his side of the family. We always went with his side of the family. So that's how we knew of him, okay? We didn't know him because he was always in and out of prison. In and out of prison our whole lives, okay? So that's all we knew was, you got a dad, but he in prison. Where he at? He in prison. That's all we knew. When he got out of prison, we probably seen him a couple times. If he did come pick us up, he just dropped us off somewhere. It was never, oh, let me spend time with my kids. It was never none of that. It was never none of that. So let's make that clear too. It was never like, oh, I'm finna pick up my kids and spend some time with them. No, it's like, I'm finna pick them up. I'm finna drop them off in this apartment, and I'm finna go about my day. That's how it was. The reason why I don't fuck with him is something that happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And I got my phone, because I got to make sure I hit all the points. I'm going to hit all the points. I'm not trying to miss out nothing in this video. I'm trying to not edit nothing out. This video is raw and uncut. And after this video, I don't want him to be brought up anymore. Like, this shit is dead. Like, I'm done. Like, I've been done, but today he took me there. Today he took me there. So today the shit finna be said today. So let me tell y'all. This man, like I said, this man been in and out of jail my whole life. In and out of prison my whole life. That's all he's done. In and out of prison. The last time he got out of prison was June of 2016. And June of 2016, I was about to go into my senior year. I had just finished my junior year of high school. I was about to go into my senior year of high school. Now, at this point, my mind is already developed. At this point, I'm 18 years old. I'm about to be 18 years. No, June of 2016. Yeah, I was turning 18 that year. I already know the whole story. You can't come into somebody's life when they finna be 18 and then expect for that person to be all open arms and have a relationship with you with no work put in. It's not gonna work like that. So when he got out June 2018, he got out of prison, and he was trying to be a father. I guess he was trying to be a father. My grandpa passed, as most people know, my grandpa passed of August of 2018. My grandpa, I always say, was the only father figure me and my sisters ever knew growing up. My grandpa was always there. So this man got out of prison a couple months before my grandpa passed. So as a father, you should want to step up and be there for your kids who have just lost their grandpa. That's what I would do if I had a child. But that's just me. Some people ain't cut like me. So this man got out of prison. Me and my sister Lauren, I'm saying names. I'm not editing this shit out. I'm saying names. Me and my sister Lauren, we're only 11 days apart. So we were both going into our senior year. I had a job all throughout high school. I kept the same job all throughout high school. Ever since I started working at Kroger 2 weeks after I turned 16 years old. And I've had that job until I graduated high school. This man got out of prison talking about something. I don't want y'all working. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to pay for all y'all stuff. Like, I want y'all to focus on school. I don't want y'all working, blah, blah, blah. Me, like I said, I grew up in a household with a single mom. Why, when I'm about to be 18 years old, I'm going to just stop and depend on a nigga that ain't never been there? So, no, I did not quit my job. No, I ain't do none of that shit. And let me tell you, I'm glad I didn't do none of that shit, because this man didn't do shit. This man didn't come off no money. This man was not there. This man promised me a car and everything. This man said, he called me one day. He said, I got a car for you. All I need you to do is get your license. So I'm putting in the work to get my license. I paid for my own driving school, $400 for my own driving school. This man, all he did was sign the paper so I could, because I was under 18. All he did was sign the paper so I could get enrolled into that driving school. That's all he did. I paid the $400 for it with the job that I had. The job that he told me to quit, I used my money to pay for that. Like I said, this man never came up off no money. This man, I don't know what kind of work he was doing at the time. He came over to the house with the car that he was supposed to be giving me. And he was like, I need somebody to take me to the bus stop or whatever. If you give me $20, if you loan me $20, I'll let you drive the car. I'll let you keep the car for a weekend or whatever. However long he was going to be gone. So me, I'm giving him $20, right? So sorry he had to ask his own child for $20. But you wanted me to quit my job, though, remember? But that's a different story. So I gave him the $20 because it was just $20 to me. The money in high school, I thought I was balling. So $20 wasn't nothing to me in high school. So I gave him $20. Then all of a sudden it's, man, I don't want you driving on the freeway. Man, I don't want you to blah, blah. So no, long story short, I never got the car. Never got my $20 back either. So I remember all this shit. Like, it's shit that's building up that leads to why people don't fuck with you for real. He's so delusional that he think it's one thing why people don't fuck with him. No, it's a lot of shit that you did that goes back years that has never been brought up, because he's so old school. He got an old school ass mentality that he feel like if you speak your mind, you being disrespectful. But how can you respect somebody who wasn't there and is forcing themselves on you? But anyway, so like I said, never got that car because he ended up getting in a car accident, whatever the case may be, totaled the fucking car. So I never got the car. He never let me use it for that weekend, and I never got my $20 back. So that's one thing, because I don't play about my money. So keep that in mind. I do not play about my money. This was all the year of 2017, because I graduated the year 2017. So I ain't never really had no relationship with him. It was just like a keep it cordial type shit. We didn't like hang out, do stuff like that. But summer of 2018, he decided that he wants to take his kids on a trip to the lake. Now, if y'all been subscribed to this channel, that was like one of my first videos I posted on this channel was our trip to the lake. Now, keep in mind, I have 11 siblings. At the time, it was 10 of us. he didn't claim 2 of them. And so it was only, what, 8 of us who went on the trip. I think it was only 8 of us who went on the trip. And we was going to meet his girlfriend at the time. Her name, I'm just finna say her name. Her name was Tiffany. He wanted us to meet her and stuff like that. So Tiffany, cool person. I don't have no issues with Tiffany. Then at the time I was like, why she want to be with this man who got 10 kids, ain't got no money, and he don't take care of his kids. That was confused because she had nothing but one child. I was like, why are you choosing to deal with a broke nigga? That's what I was confused about. But I was like, she as a person, she was cool. She was cool on the trip. She put up with this man who got all these kids, all of us in this fucking small ass lake cabin shit. I was like, well, she must really like him. So I was like, okay, she cool. I like her. So that was summer of 2018. So October of 2018, really was like September 2018. He was talking about a job opportunity because like a hurricane had just hit Florida and all those states over there. Hurricane Michael or something like that had just hit. And he was doing work, like restoration work, which is like work that clean up properties and stuff like that after like a disaster. So he was like, he'll bring me along so I can save up some money and all that type of stuff. This was like September he was talking about it. So me knowing him and all the false promises that he be making, I wasn't really thinking he was for real. But October of 2018 came around and he actually came and got me, and we drove to Florida, 10 hours to Florida, and we started working. So I was working out there doing restoration work. I started, I think it was like October 16th we went out there, and the next day we started working. So we was out there, and at first when we first got out there, we was in a motel, like a Motel 6 or something like that. But then like a couple weeks, they put us into like these condos. So the condos were basically like mini apartments. Like it was like, I think it was a 2-bedroom with a little bunk area. And it was me, him, and one of his best friends. We was there. I had my own room. He had his own room. And the dude, his best friend, would be like sleeping on the couch and stuff like that. But for the most part, I had my own space. I had my own bathroom, had my own space. So I was not really interacting with him because, first of all, like I said, I didn't know him. He came to me with this job opportunity, and I took it because I'm thinking money. Like I said, I don't play about my money, so I'm thinking money. I'm finna save money because at the time I didn't have no car, So I was like, okay, this finna be some good money. So that's why I went. I didn't go for a relationship with him. I didn't go to build a relationship with him. I went to go get money. That was my only goal, was to save money. He wasn't on my mind. A relationship wasn't on my mind because at the time I was about to be 20. I wasn't thinking. I was too old to try to build a father-daughter relationship that was never there. It's been 2 decades. So like me, I'm going for money. And that's what I did. I went for money. But I guess he wanted to build a relationship, and I guess he was complaining to people like, I don't be talking to him, blah, blah, blah. And anybody who knows me in real life, I wouldn't expect him to know me because he wasn't there, like I said. But anybody who knows me in real life, like the people that I live with in the same house, would know that I like to be by myself. I like my own space. I like my own energy. And if I don't know you and I'm not comfortable with you, why would you think that I would be open to having conversations with you and talking to you and hanging out with you and I don't know you? Like I'm not that type of person. I like my own energy. I like my own space. So I was not finna put in no effort to have no relationship with him. And I didn't know him. Like it was too late. Like I said, I went out there for the money. We woke up at 4 a.m. to drive from Destin, Florida to Panama City, Florida, which is like a 2-hour drive, to do work, to come back at like 5 that night. We'll get off work at like 5 and then make it back at like 7 just to do the shit over. This shit was a pattern. It was a pattern. That's all we did. And when I did have free time, I met somebody out there. His name was Sal. Me and Sal had the same birthday. He was a gay man, and I clicked with gay people, you know. So we clicked, and I liked hanging out with him because I got to know him, and we could talk, and we could, you know, share stories and stuff like that. We had fun together. So if any free time we had, yeah, I was with Sal because I liked Sal. I liked hanging out with him. I don't like you, so I'm not gonna want to hang out with you. And while we was out there, like I said, I had my 20th birthday out there. November is my birthday. So we went out there in October. In November, I turned 20. This man, you could have swore I was 12, the way this man was trying to watch over me and dictate what I can do and what I can't do and all that type of shit. And I was like, my own mama, who I grew up in a household with, who raised me since birth, don't even do as much as you're trying to do. So I feel like he was forcing himself to be a father when that's not what it is. This is not what it is. He was just like really nitpicking that shit. He was trying to make me cook and clean. And for one, I don't cook and clean behind no nigga. That ain't something that I do. I'm not finna cook no meal for everybody and clean up some dishes. That shit was just not finna happen. That's not what I do. Because if anything, like I've been doing, I will order food, eat my food, and throw the trash away. I was not trying to be cooking and cleaning. Like, I'm not that girl. And that's what he failed to realize. I was not that girl. I'm not no Betty Crocker. I'm not finna be, if I'm cooking, it's because I want to cook. But no, I was tired. We was working long ass hours. So I'm finna go order me some food or go pick up some food, and I'm coming back. I'm not trying to cook and clean and be no housewife. That's not me. That's not the person that, I guess that's who he thought I was. But no, that wasn't me. But yeah, he was nitpicking that shit, trying to make sure everything was clean and, you know, just trying to get on my nerves. That's what I felt like he was doing. He was trying to get on my nerves. So, like I said, this whole time he with Tiffany. You remember, like, from the lake. I was like, Tiffany, his girl, she cool. You know, they talking about, like, marriage and shit like that. So I'm thinking, oh, he for real. I'm thinking, you know, I'm trying to get him a benefit of the doubt. I'm thinking he a changed person. He gonna be a good man and all that type of shit. But we in Florida, and, you know, this man been doing this type of work. It's my first time out there. And it's people on the job coming to me and telling me, like, they don't know nothing. First of all, they don't know nothing about him ever being in prison. And people on the job was like, why you don't call him dad? And I was like, why would I call him dad? I don't know him. Like, why would, that was just like, why would I call this man dad? Like, what? No, that's never gonna happen. And I was like, because I don't know this man. This man was not in my life for me to have a relationship with him to call him dad. And, you know, people was going back and telling him what I was saying. Because the people didn't know on the job. The people didn't know this man was in and out of prison my whole life. This man telling them something different. This man got a whole story in his head. And I'm like, what? Like, no, I'm showing them pictures of my siblings. Like, no, he got 10 of us. It's 10 of us. What are you talking about? He keeps saying I'm the oldest. He keeps saying, oh, this my oldest child. No, you got two before me. We was all born in the same year, but it's 2 before me. But like I said, he would deny. He loved denying kids. That's his forte. He loved denying kids. But yeah, people on the job, I guess he didn't like the fact that I was telling the truth on the job. He didn't want his business being out there. But stop lying to people. Don't lie to people. Like, if you stop lying, you wouldn't be so hurt when the truth come out. But yeah, he didn't like that, so I guess he was plotting in his head how he can send me back home, because he loved using that. Every little thing I did, if I ain't do something the way he wanted to do, you better stop or I send you back to Texas. You finna be back in Texas. I'm gonna leave you in Texas. He loved throwing that shit out there. And me, I'm like, shit, I don't want to go back to Texas because I'm trying to get this money. That's what I went out there for. But he loved throwing that shit in my face. I'll send you back to Texas. Like, if I want to do something, if I catch you doing this, you going back to Texas. Like, I'm 20. Like, I was 20 years old. But like I said, this is why I don't fuck with him. I don't fuck with this nigga, like, for real. I caught him. The girls on the job was telling me like, oh, I didn't know your dad had a girlfriend. I was like, yeah, like she cool, like I like her, like, cause people was finding out about my YouTube channel, and like I said, I had that lake vlog in there. And I was like, oh, I didn't know your dad had a girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, he do got a girlfriend. Like, he was like, oh, but he be messing with other people at different locations and stuff. Him and the boss, the main boss, which was his boss, because he was like a supervisor, and it was like people ahead of him. It's like, they be going out, and people telling me all this shit. I'm just like, what? Like, you supposed to be faithful. You supposed to be in love and all this type of shit. So one day, I guess he thought I was asleep. I don't know what he thought I was doing, because like I said, I stay in my room. I was not out there socializing with nobody. But one day, I seen a girl in a condo, and I'm like, who is this? Like, is she finna come start working with us type shit? And I had text my sisters, because we in a group chat, and I text them. I'm like, I think he got a girl in here, and it don't look like Tiffany. Mind you, we live in Texas, but we're working in Florida, and I know for a fact Tiffany ain't drive to no fucking Florida. So I'm like, she just went in his room. But what you call it? I was like, yeah, he just went in the room and whatever, and they closed the door or whatever. So I was like, okay, he up to no good, as niggas always up to no good. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, do I keep quiet about this shit, or do I tell Tiffany? Because like I said, I liked Tiffany when I met her, and we hung out and we spent time with her that weekend. I was like, oh, she cool. She a cool person, I guess. Shit, I wanted them to get married. I ain't even gonna lie, I wanted them to get married because I wanted to be in the wedding. But niggas ain't shit. Remember this, niggas ain't shit. So I told my sisters, because we in a group chat, and this was about to be, my birthday November 10th. So this was about to be Thanksgiving. So I text them in the group chat. I said, I think he cheating on Tiffany, because you don't just have no girl in your room, and just to have a girl in your room or whatever. So I think he was using a rental car for a minute, because he had ended up smashing out his back window in his truck. So he was using a rental car. So he had to go pick up the rental car. But I think something happened where I needed to go back to the room or something, and the girl was going to take me back to the room. So he called her to take me back to the room, and she talking to me. We in the car. It's just us two in the car. The same girl that I knew it was her, because I remembered her face. This the same girl that I seen in his room. So me and her in the car, and we went to Walmart for something. I don't know what we went to Walmart for, but she talking to me, and she trying to have conversations with me. And in my mind, I'm like, I can't fuck with you. I can't like you because he's sleeping with you, but he got Tiffany back in Texas. Because at the end of the day, I'm a woman, so I'm not respecting none of this shit that's going on. I know she don't know about Tiffany, but he know about Tiffany. You and Tiffany been together for how long? At that time, it was probably a year. And you want to cheat on her with this girl, and the girl wasn't even cute. So that girl wasn't even cute. So I was like, oh dang, like I can't even fuck with you for her. She trying to talk to me, and she trying to keep conversation. I'm like, nah, this is dead. So I'm telling my sisters, I think I had sent them a snap of her while we was in Walmart. I sent them a snap, and they was like, oh yeah, she ugly, like what the fuck. So Thanksgiving come around, and we go back to Texas for Thanksgiving. So my sisters had asked him about the girl, like, oh, you cheating on Tiffany? Why you cheating on Tiffany? And he was like, man, that ain't none of y'all business, blah blah blah. So then he gonna text my phone. I wish I still had the messages, y'all. I checked my phone and I deleted all the shit because he pissed me off. But he texted my phone and he said, if you want to stay on the road with me, you got to learn how to keep your mouth closed. That's exactly what he said to me. And I was like, oh, so this ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. This is what you do. You just be out here sleeping with everybody on the road. Every time you go to a different location, that's what you do. You cheating. So I was like, okay. I don't think I responded to the message. But I'm like, oh, so now I know, basically. Now I know what type of time you on. Now I know. So he came after, I think we stayed in Texas for like a few days for Thanksgiving or whatever. Then we went back. We drove back to Texas. On the way back, remind you, it's like a 10-hour drive from Houston to Destin, Florida. It's like a 10-hour drive. On the way back, we stopped in, I think, was it Mississippi? I don't know. We stopped some fucking where. And I remember when the girl was talking to me in the car, she said she lived there and she was planning on moving to Texas. She was in Florida for the same type of work, but she didn't work at the same location as us. So when we stopped in the state, he went inside. We pulled up to some apartments, and I knew it had to be the girl apartments. So I stayed in the car, and he went inside for like good 30 minutes to an hour. Don't know what he was doing, but I knew it was at the girl, because I remember she told me where she stayed, which state she stayed in. And when you driving through it, let me see, because I know I'm not tripping. Hold on. Yep. So when you driving to Florida from Texas, you driving through Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then it's Florida. We stopped in Mississippi. That girl was the same. I forgot. I can't remember now because it was like 2 years ago. But it was the same city, same state. So I knew it was that same girl that I caught in his room, and the same girl that had picked me up from that car shop to take me back to the room. I knew it was where she stayed. So at this point, it's not no little fling. It's like you stopping in her hometown for what? Like, we already on the road for 10 hours, so what you stopping here for, you know? So I was like, oh, I think I had told my sisters too in the group chat. I had told them about that. The whole trip, the Florida trip, was supposed to be from October to like May of the next year. So it's supposed to be like 6 months long, basically. I guess he didn't want me to stay the whole 6 months. I guess he wanted to be back on his whole shit. I guess he didn't like the fact that he couldn't lie while I was there, because I was not finna lie for him. So he was trying to get me gone. So he was nitpicking and acting like I wasn't, doing the work that we were supposed to be doing. And, while we was out there, it got real cold. Real cold. We was working in like 20-degree weather. Like, the shit was cold. And then we started work at 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's cold. Me, I don't like the cold. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't like the cold. It's hard for me to move in the cold. And it was like, we was working on an apartment complex, so it would be apartments that have heat and stuff in it. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, people would go hide in the already empty apartments to warm up. And I did too. But he would text my phone and be like, oh, I know you're hiding. You need to get up out of there. Like, first of all, I'm cold. Second of all, you don't have no type of care for the simple fact that it's not just me. Everybody is fucking cold. We weren't doing nothing but sweeping sidewalks at one point. But he wanted us to be out there in the cold, just to be out there in the cold. I felt like he was trying to make me not want to be there. That's what he was doing. He was nitpicking that little shit. And I was like, really, all he had to do was be a man and say, look, I'm ready for you to go back to Texas. That's all he had to do. Be a man. But no, he wanted to play games and trick people and do weird ass shit. But anyway, like, after the Mississippi girl, I guess she never came back to Florida, because I don't think I ever seen her again. But he would go back and forth from Florida because he had to meet with his parole officer, whatever he do drug tests. I don't know whatever the fuck he do. But he had to do that. And then when he came back one time, he brought a girl with him. And it wasn't Tiffany. This girl, I'm going to call her name started with a T. I'm going to call her Tammy. He brought Tammy. And I'm like, what the fuck does this man got going on? Like, what? Like, this is how I knew it was something that it wasn't supposed to be, because she in your room, she in your bed. She stayed out there with us. They were like a couple out there. But whole time on the way back from work, or the way to work, before Trina, oh, well, I said her name Trina. Before Trina got out there, he on the phone with Tiffany in the mornings. When he go back to Texas, he's sleeping with Tiffany. But when he in Florida, it's Trina in the bed. Or Trina, he brought Trina out there so she could do the cooking and cleaning, because that's what she was good for. She was doing all the cooking and cleaning, because like I said, I'm not cleaning behind no nigga. Like, no, especially not him. I'm not that girl. So yeah, he brought Trina out there, and him and Trina got real comfortable. She telling me stuff. This lady, she a cool lady, I ain't gonna lie, but she got her own issues that she dealing with. So what I can say is that she was not the type of female that you would want to marry, to say that in the nicest way possible. Like, she was very, what's the word? I wouldn't say immature. I would say that she was very immature for her age, because she was about to be 40 and she acted like my age. I was 20. I was 20 at the time. So she was a very immature person, so I didn't understand what he was seeing in her. But like I said, she told me she would talk to me like we were friends. So that's how I got all the tea. She would tell me everything that they had going on. So that's how I knew they was fucking. That's how I knew. She was telling me, like, I really love your daddy. I really want a relationship. Like, I'm in love with him type shit. But he telling me it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing like that. The girl come to me one day and she told me she's pregnant. And I'm like, how? Like, you're pregnant and y'all are 40 and it's already 10 of us, and he has Tiffany back in Texas. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, this is too much shit, because now as a woman, I feel like I need to let Tiffany know what the fuck is going on, so she can leave this man, because obviously this man ain't shit. This girl telling me she in love with him and she finna have this man baby and then all this type of shit. And I'm just like, she don't know nothing about Tiffany. I wanted to tell her about Tiffany so bad. I wanted to be like, do you not know this man has basically a whole wife in Texas? But you over here telling me you in love with him and you pregnant, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck is really going on? Like, this is a lot of fucking shit. Like, so I told my sister, and I was like, this girl just told me that she pregnant. And so at the time, I wasn't speaking to him because he was lying on me. He was telling my mama that I was out there hanging out with criminals, and I was out there doing drugs and out there drinking and all that type of shit. And I hung out with Sal, like I said, and I hung out with Desiree, and what was the other girl name? I forgot the other girl name. But we would hang out, and nobody was fucking doing drugs and shit. I didn't smoke weed out there like that. I had a wax pen. I did hit that sometimes, but I didn't get my wax pen until December, so I don't know where that came from. As far as hanging out with criminals, everybody around me had been to jail or prison before, but they served their time and they weren't on papers or anything. They did their time and it was done. Him, on the other hand, he was still on paper, so I was confused. Like, you're still a criminal. Like, even though, I don't know, just because we were related, you felt like, I don't know why he called them criminals. I don't know. But he told me I was hanging out with criminals and doing drugs. No, that was not the case. When we hung out, we went to Painting with the Twists. We went to the boardwalk. We did fun shit. And nobody was out there doing no extra ass shit. But he was just lying to me. Lying on me. So my mama could, like, get me to go home. I don't know what his plan was, but it was just like, he was a bitch. He was acting like a bitch. Like, just be a man and say, I don't want you out here no more. That's all you have to fucking say. But yeah, so I wasn't speaking to him no more. Like, Trina or like Sal was taking me to work and taking me from work, because I had stopped riding with him and everything because he had me fucked up. Like, he was sitting there lying on my name, and I was not having that shit. So when Trina told me that she was pregnant, I was like, okay, now he going too far. So one day while we was at work, it was like break time, whatever. He was sitting in his truck, so I went in his truck and I looked at him. I looked at him and he looked at me and he was smiling like the ugly ass smirk. If you know him, you know the ugly ass smirk that he always fucking doing. I said, why she just tell me she pregnant? He was like, man, that's what she say. That's what she say. What you mean? That's what she say? How the fuck you gonna get another girl pregnant while you got Tiffany at home? And that's really, I lost respect for him when the first time I seen that first girl. But then he brought Trina out here and they acting like a couple. And I was like, oh, this some bullshit, because he'll be on the phone with, he had 2 phones. He'll be on the phone with Tiffany, but then fucking Trina. And I was just like, I can't respect no man like this. Like, he was already doing too much out there, and then on top of this, you're gonna get another girl pregnant on Tiffany. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, I'm a woman, so this shit don't fly with me. I can see that you have no respect for women, and that made me like really lose all my respect for him, because how you don't have no respect for women when you got 7 daughters? That shit don't make no sense. So I was like, fuck, like I was so like, my mental health was deteriorating while I was in Florida, because my mind was set on making this money, but mentally and emotionally I was checked out. I was like, I cannot be around people who have such negative energy, who I just don't fucking like. I was tolerating Trina because she was my ride sometimes. She had brought her car out there, so she was my ride to and from work sometimes. I was tolerating him for the most part whenever I had to, because he kept threatening to send me back to Texas. When in my mind, I was trying to save up to at least $10,000 before I went back to Texas. But he kept throwing that shit in my face. Any little thing, oh, I'm finna send you back to Texas. So you finna go back to Texas. So in my mind, I'm like, nah, I'm trying to make this money. So I'm putting up with the bullshit. I'm not saying nothing. I'm keeping quiet because I'm trying to make this money. But no, when Trina told me she was pregnant, I was like, okay, now this is gone too far. Like, I was telling my mom and I was telling my sisters, like, I'm ready to fucking go. Like, I don't want to be here no more. My niece's birthday was in February. In January, we was trying to see how, because my niece was turning 1. We were trying to see how we was going to do her, how we was going to go to Texas to be at her birthday party. Me, this is my niece. I'm not trying to miss her first birthday party. So I'm on FaceTime with my sister and we talking about her birthday party and stuff. Because I was in Florida. I couldn't help plan and decorate. I couldn't do none of that shit because I was in Florida. This man told me my niece's birthday party fell on Super Bowl weekend of the year of 2020. So, no, 2019. So he was planning on, it was when it was an ATL. So he said, I was on FaceTime with my sister, so there's no need for me to lie. None of this shit is lies. Like, he said, oh, how are you gonna get to Texas for Aubrey's birthday party? Because I'm going to ATL for the Super Bowl. This is what he said. I was on FaceTime with my sister. So it was no need. It's like, this is what he said out of his mouth. So I'm like, oh, you finna miss your granddaughter's birthday party so you can go to ATL for the Super Bowl? So I'm like, okay, I'll just have to figure it out. I'll just buy me a plane ticket. So Diamond, my sister, was on FaceTime with me when he said this shit. So I was like, okay, I'll just buy me a plane ticket to Texas to go to her birthday party because I'm not trying to miss my niece's first birthday party. So when I went to go buy my ticket online, it was $600 something. But my card would not let me make a purchase for more than $500 at one time. Like, it was a $500 a day spending limit or whatever. So I text my mom and I was like, how can I buy this ticket if the card won't let me spend more than $500? She was like, you don't need to buy no plane ticket. We'll do something when you get back. Don't worry about it type shit. But in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not finna miss Aubrey's first birthday party. So I guess he one day he just was like, why your mama say you was trying to buy a plane ticket? I said, because I'm trying to go to Aubrey's birthday party. He was like, why you can't just ride with me or something like that? And I'm like, you say you was going to the Super Bowl. You say you wasn't going or whatever. At that point, I was like, okay, now you full of shit. Like, now you playing with me. Even for Aubrey's birthday party, I think when we was coming back from Christmas, I was like, he was my ride from Florida to Texas. He was my ride. So he, when it was time to go back to Florida after Christmas break, he had called me and he was like, I have to go to a different job. I have to go to a different job real quick. So, you have to buy you like a plane ticket or to find a different way to get back to Florida or whatever. When he could have really, like I said, my mama had told me, everybody had told me that he wanted me to stay in Texas. He did not want me to go back to Florida after Christmas break. He did not want me to go back to Florida. But he did not tell me. He told everybody else, but he did not tell me. Like I said, the job was originally supposed to be from October to May. He wanted me just from October to December. But me, my mind is on the money. That's all I was trying to do. I was trying to get to the money. So, I had called him because Sal lived in San Antonio. So Sal was going back. He had called me or whatever, and I was like, no, he called me. He was like, I'm finna go back to Texas. I mean, I'm on my way back to Florida or whatever. I was like, okay, you can swoop through and pick me up then. And so that's how I ended up going back to Florida, because Sal came to pick me up. So, yeah, he did. And once I told him I was back in Florida, he called me. He was like, oh, I thought you was coming this day. I thought you was coming this day. I was like, no, Sal was here. But really, in reality, he did not want me to be back in Florida. I heard it in his voice, like, you didn't want me to be there. But all you had to say was, I don't want you to be there. I didn't care. None of it fazed me, but just be a man. But no, this nigga's a bitch. So he didn't say shit. So when I got to work that first day back, they was like, oh, one of the supervisors was like, oh, LaDeja, I thought you wasn't coming back. I ain't never said shit to nobody. So how you figure I wasn't coming back? That's because you was in them people's ear telling them I wasn't coming back. You told everybody else, but you didn't tell me I wasn't coming back. But anyway, I stayed. And then I wasn't really fucking with him. He was just my ride. I wasn't speaking to him like that. He was my ride to and from, because Sal had ended up getting an accident one time out there, so he didn't have a car at one point in time. So I had to go back to relying on him until him and Trina fell out, and Trina was taking her own car to and from work, so I would ride with her. But I wasn't really speaking to him like that. And then he told everybody one day, this is really how all the shit went down. One day, this is when all the shit really went down for Aubrey's birthday party. Because like I said, he sat there and said he was going to ATL for the Super Bowl instead of coming back to Texas for Aubrey's birthday party. So, one day at work, Trina wasn't speaking to him. I wasn't speaking to him. It was just us two who was doing our own thing. And he went to work and he put on a fucking show for them people. He went to work one day. Like I said, nobody was speaking to him. I wasn't speaking to him. Trina wasn't speaking to him. He went to work and he was high-fiving everybody, telling everybody bye, be like, I'm going, I'm out of here, I'm not coming back, blah, blah, blah. Everybody coming to me like, oh, he leaving? Where he going? I'm like, shit, I ain't speaking to him. I ain't spoke to him in weeks at this point. I don't know what the fuck the man got going on. I'm just as confused as everybody else. Like, why you telling everybody bye like you ain't finna come back? Girl, y'all, we got in the car. It was time to go. My mama called my phone. She talking about something. Matoya said he finna come back to Texas because you doing too much. And I said, how am I doing too much? I don't bother nobody. I was minding my own fucking business. I was waking up, going to work, coming back, going to sleep, doing the same shit over and over again. I was not bothering nobody. You so pressed. You so worried about what the fuck I got going on, when you need to worry about yourself. You got this girl pregnant. You mad because you got this girl pregnant and me and her then got cool. That's what you mad about. You mad because all your shit, I know all the dirt that you be doing on the road. That's what you mad about. I ain't do shit to this man. I ain't do shit but mind my business and go to work. That's all the fuck I did. You're mad because I wanted to hang out with Sal and I didn't want to hang out with you. That's your problem. Why you telling people I'm out there hanging out with criminals and shit? Who cares? I don't be judging people. Why are you judging people when you been in and out of prison your whole fucking life? I never understood none of that shit. So when my mama said that, she said, yeah, he said you doing too much and you out there hanging out with criminals and you drinking and doing drugs. Doing drugs? I probably smoked a half a blunt the whole time I was out there. Sal would cook dinner for us. He would make enchiladas. He would cook, and sometimes when he cooked, he had a bottle of wine, and I would sip the fucking wine. I never got drunk out there. I never did none of that shit. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even like the taste of alcohol half the time. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm out there doing drugs, and I'm drinking and hanging out with criminals. Then people did their time, and that was it. You're mad because I didn't want to fucking hang out with you. Tell the truth. So when my mama said that, right then and there, I said, I went to my phone and I blocked his number. I blocked him on Facebook. I blocked him on everything else that I had him on. I blocked him because now you playing with me and I don't like to be played with. So I blocked him right then and there. Like, don't be lying on me. Because when I popped up in Texas, that same weekend all this shit happened, it was Aubrey birthday party was coming up. And so the whole time I'm like, oh, now I really can't fucking get to Texas because this man, he left. He got on the road and he left. And so I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? I have all my stuff. I was in Florida for months. I was shopping. I had too much stuff. I had accumulated so much stuff. And I'm like, I can't take all this shit on the plane with me. Like, how the fuck I'm supposed to get all my shit back? So I guess he was trying to like me and the girls, 2 girls, we had planned on going to go get some food and stuff. The 2 criminals, that's what he want to call them, 2 criminals, we had planned on going to go get some food and stuff that night. So when Trina, got us back to our side of the state, me and the girls, we was finna go shower, do that, and then go get some food. So, like I said, when my mama called me while we on the road back to the hotel, I blocked him right then and there because I'm like, oh, you doing too much. So I blocked his number. I blocked him on Facebook because now he was playing with me and I don't like to be played with. So I guess he was trying to call me. I don't know if he was trying to call me or not, but my mama texted me, or she called me, and he said to have all my stuff packed because he was gonna bring it back with him. And I said, you know what, that's fine. Because I was having mental breakdowns while I was out there. I had been ready to go. My mama was planning on coming to get me. She was planning on coming to get me, but I was like, I need to save up to at least $10,000 before I leave. And at the time, I probably had like 7. I probably only had like 7, so I was like, I could stick it out a couple more weeks, so I can have $10,000 and then I can just leave. But it was just like my mental, like I was crying to myself, like I was mentally like, I can't do this shit, because why would I put up or tolerate so much from a man that I don't give a fuck about? Like, I don't have to be here. That's why I kept telling myself, like, literally, I don't have to put up with this shit, but I'm putting up with it for some money. And then now I'm thinking about it, it's like, all money ain't good money, but at the time, that's all I was focused on. Like, I'm not finna let this nigga run me off some money. But this nigga, like if y'all would have known, like, I was literally, like, when I'm, in my head a lot, I like to listen to gospel music, calm me down. And I'm just, like, I swear, like, breaking down, crying myself to sleep type shit. Like, I was really mentally going through it because this man had me so fucked up. Like, he had me so fucked up, because how could you sit there and you lie on somebody and you act like somebody did something to you? You always want to play fucking victim when you're the issue. You're the fucking problem. But yeah, I was really going through it those last like weeks, and I was really like mad because I'm like, damn, like how the fuck am I finna get to Aubrey's birthday party? The two criminals, the two criminals that he didn't want me hanging out with, they drove me and my stuff, because this man left without taking my stuff with him. Like I said, I had got all my stuff. I had so much stuff. I had it packed and I had it by the door so he could just come get it and take it with him. This man left all my stuff. I had a hoverboard. I had pictures. I had all that type of shit, like shoes, clothes, everything that I knew I could not take on no plane with me. So I needed some of this stuff to go back to Texas right now. Those two criminals that he didn't want me hanging out with drove me. We worked all fucking day. They drove me from Florida to Texas after we done worked from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. We didn't sleep. We got straight on the road. They drove me and my stuff back to Texas. The two criminals. If it wasn't for them, I would have missed my niece's first birthday party. But when I get to the birthday party, he pulling up. So you're not in ATL. You're not at the Super Bowl. You went to the birthday party. So I was like, yeah, when he see me, I'm pretty sure he seen a ghost. He probably was like, how the fuck she get here? Because last time I checked, I left her in Florida. Yeah, you did leave me. But I was going to get there regardless, whether I have to take a bus or whether I have to spend $600 on a plane ticket. I was not finna miss my niece's first birthday party. So I didn't speak to him at all at the birthday party. So when I got back, got back on the road for Florida the next day. And so it was a Sunday. Aubrey's birthday party was on a Saturday. So on the Sunday, we had drove back. That Monday, we had to go back to work. That Monday, I didn't go back to work because I had an appointment. And he knew I had a eye doctor's appointment, whatever. Like I said, he was the supervisor, whatever. So he knew I had an eye doctor's appointment. But they told me, we want you, you're basically fired me. They was like, you have to leave the premises because you failed to appear to work and lack of work ethic or whatever the fuck they was saying. Like I said, he was out there acting like I wasn't doing no work. That's what he was out there doing. But I was like, you know what, that's fine, because I'm not finna trip. Because I had a good amount of money saved. My mental was deteriorating. It was time for me to go, so I wasn't tripping. I was not tripping about leaving. I packed up all my shit and I left. Well, really, let me tell y'all the truth. I was supposed to leave. But once I had my eye doctor's appointment, because I was getting my contacts. Once I had my eye doctor's appointment, they said I have to give you a 7-day trial pair. And then you have to come back in a week. And so we can give you your contacts or whatever. Or order you your contacts to see how you like them or whatever. And I'm like, damn, they told me that I have to evacuate the premises. So it's like, I was like, damn, how I'm finna stay in Florida and I ain't got nowhere to stay. Because I have to stay for a week before I can go back to Texas for good. But like I said, those two criminals that he didn't want me hanging out with let me stay in their condo with them for that week. They was hiding me out like I was a freaking refuge. They was hiding me out. They was going to work every day and coming back, and I was trying not to be seen, trying not to be heard. I was hiding out. They would bring me food and all that type of shit. Because the man came back. That man, he lied to everybody. He put on a show like he was not coming back. That man came back to Florida because he's a bitch. He's a liar. I'm telling y'all, this man is a fucking liar. So those two girls, they hid me, and they fed me and all that type of shit for that week. And then that day, I went to my appointment, and they said they gave me my contacts and all that type of shit, and I got on a fucking Greyhound. I got on a Greyhound because I got on a Greyhound. The trip was supposed to be 14 hours. The trip ended up being 20 hours with the stops and all that type of stuff. So I was on a Greyhound bus for 20 hours straight. Because this man left me. This man left me in fucking Florida. Like I said, this man left me. So, yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm never fucking with this dude again. Like, he on some weird ass shit. Like, how could you leave your child in a different state with all of her stuff? Didn't ask or care to see how I made it back to Texas. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, this is, like I said, I never fucked with him to begin with. I only went out there to make money. It was never like, let's build a relationship. It was never none of that shit. But all the events that transpired, like, I lost respect for him when I realized, when I learned he don't have respect for women, let alone somebody he looks at as a child. So I lost all my respect for him, and I was just like, I don't like you as a person. Like, I don't like you, and I don't want to be around somebody I don't like. I don't want to act like I like you when I don't fucking like you. And I really would say I hate this dude, but hate, it's really a strong word, but like, I might just hate him. Like, I really strongly dislike him. Honestly, I do. Cause it was just too much. Like, it was all that shit that happened in Florida. Like, it's just so much. Like, I could really go into detail. Like, this man did so much shit. Like, he was nitpicking that shit. He would just, instead of being a man and saying, look, I only want you out here from October to December, he was trying to get me fired, basically. Which he accomplished. I did get fired. You did do that shit. But I wasn't tripping. Even though I didn't save up $10,000 like I wanted to, I had to go. Because I was going to have a mental breakdown. I just could not believe, like, I never went through no shit like that before. So it was too much. It was way too much for me. And I was just like, yeah, I don't have to tolerate this shit from a man who was not there, who did not raise me. Like, my mama don't even do this shit. So why would I put up with it from him? I was mad at myself. I'm like, I did so much. Like, when this man, I didn't even tell y'all this. When this man, while we was in Florida, this man got his car repossessed. When he went back to Texas to go meet his parole officer. He got his car repoed because I guess he wasn't paying the fucking bill. I don't know. What he do? He called me and he asked me for $500 to get his car back. But right before he left on that trip, he asked me for $100 for gas. And I gave it to him. I gave him the $100 and then I cashed out him the $500 to get his car back. Then when we went for Christmas break, his transmission went out. He needs to get a new transmission. It was like $2,000 or whatever the fuck. And he asked me for $600. I think I only sent him four or five because Cash App wouldn't let me send $600. Whole time, he ain't paying me back. He paying me back bits and pieces. I didn't give you that money, bits and pieces. And the only reason why I gave him that money is because I felt obligated to, because he did help me get this job. And he did help me get the job, and he was mainly the reason why I had the money in my pocket. So I felt obligated to help him out, but I didn't have to. And that's why I wish I wouldn't, like, really realized back then, like, I did not have to help you. I did not have to help you get your car back, and I didn't have to help you get your car fixed, because that's not my job. Just because I had the money didn't mean I had to spend it on you because you helped me get the job. I was just doing that because I felt obligated to. He was paying my money back in bits and pieces. My mama texted me when all this shit went down around the weekend of our party. She said, when you pack all your shit, make sure he got all your money. And that's when he left my money on the dresser. And I think he had owed me like a good four then, and he left it on the dresser. Like, I didn't have to help you. I didn't. Like, he had me so fucked up. I'm like, I'm helping this man. I don't even fuck with him for real, but I felt obligated to, so I'm helping him. I'm doing all this shit, and I'm just like, I'm just like, why the fuck are you putting up? Why are you tolerating this bullshit? And you don't have to. But I'm like, my mind was like, I'm trying to get this money. That's it. I was trying to get the money.